Please welcome English journalist and television presenter Kate Thornton.
Thank you, and thank you to Bond. Far more glamorous than Nigel Kennedy. Hello, good afternoon everyone. Thank you very much for coming down today. On behalf of Londoners everywhere, welcome to the General Motors Opel Vauxhall show. To our guests from all around the world, I believe you've travelled far afield to be here today, so thank you for making it. Now, you know, over the years, I've covered some pretty spectacular sightings here in London and all over the world, be it the Oscars or some of the biggest gigs we've played at Wembley, but none as impressive as maybe this. Now, you may have been reading in the press of late that there have been some UFO sightings in the glamorous region of Wales. And of course, this over the weekend has caused something of a fuss. So naturally, there's been excitement all over the city with the orb behind us. It crashed into this field in Pottersfield on Saturday. Now, since then, a team of highly trained engineers, scientists, occultists, even, and some security personnel have been tending to the orb. But I can guarantee all of you that you are quite safe, or so I'm told. The area has been secured, and you are under no threat whatsoever, although, hang on a second, some doors are opening, the girls are coming back, and I'm being told that I better clear the stage because apparently the real star of the show is here.
Please welcome General Motors Europe Chief Marketing Officer, Alain Visser.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The new Insignia has arrived. What do you think of it now? If you think it was thrilling watching this happen, I can assure you it's more thrilling sitting in the car as it happens. So as I couldn't see anything of what you just saw, and as I'm sure the last seconds were pretty thrilling for you, I would suggest let's just look at these couple of seconds once again. Can we do that? So, new name, new Insignia, new ambition, new era. This is a very important moment for the Opel and the Vauxhall brands, and I often get the question, why a new name for a new car, which doesn't happen that often in the car industry. And I think if you see this car standing here, I think the answer is pretty obvious. Other than the size of this car, that it fits in the same segment as the current Vectra, there's not a lot of similarities. And in fact, you may not be surprised that even internally, we don't often use the quote, the new Vectra. This is an all-new product for us, with an all-new role, a very, very important role for the Opel and Vauxhall brands. Now, 2 years ago, you may remember that we launched the Corsa in here, and you may ask yourself, why now do this again with Insignia? Well, we're maybe also a little bit superstitious that everything we launch in London turns into gold. And as our Corsa that you can see here next to stage has really been performing extremely well, we believed launching in London can maybe give us the same step ahead all the way from the start. Now, we did this pretty spectacular launch with the helicopter scene, as some of you may remember. So obviously we were not going to do some smoke and reveal a cover today. We wanted to have something unique as well, and I hope that you agree with me that this was maybe something else than what you usually see with smoke and covers. So a pretty important moment for us. Now, Insignia is a very strong signal and a very strong element in the step of the rejuvenation of the Opel and the Vauxhall brand. And I often get the question, can you explain me what is the rejuvenation all about? And I think this car makes it so much easier for me, because I think the answer is this car. This car is all about what Opel and Vauxhall want to stand for in terms of the design, the driving dynamics, the technology, the German engineering and the precision. It's all in there. Now, from a purely design point of view, I want to steal a quote from Mark Adams, whose team was responsible for the design of this vehicle, which is basically, this car is a sculptural artistry meets German precision. And I think it's a perfect phrase. It's the combination of this design, which is so important in the car industry, but also the link with the technology. Now, let me cover maybe just a couple of minutes on the design elements. As I said, this car is so important for the Opel and Vauxhall brand that we also decided to use this car as, let's say, the launch of our new Opel Blitz, as you can see here with the Opel name written on the Blitz, but also a new Vauxhall Griffin. I think a very important signal that this is not just a new car, this is the relaunch of a brand, and it's a very important element for the brand. Some other design elements is the wing, as we call it, which, as you may have seen, has become almost like the sign of the new Insignia. It's a design element in the both front and rear lights that really makes the car stand out. But also the blades, as we call it, sort of this angle that you see in the side of the car, which is something that you'll see as a new design language for the Opel and Vauxhall brand. So I think very important elements that mark sort of like a new area from a design point of view. And this car, I think for us internally, and you may not be interested in what happens internally, but I just wanted to quote this really generates a lot of emotions internally. When I personally have a bad day, don't feel good, I just call Mark, we go over and see one of these cars with 20-inch wheels on it, and it just makes all problems disappear. This is really how it works internally, and I can assure you that is the case. Now, it is important that the design is absolutely unique and that it really touches your stomach. That's what it's all about in this industry. But we also said we don't just want to send a message that Opel and Vauxhall are capable of producing great-looking cars. That's only half the story. The second half, I would say, is at least, if not more important, is the driving dynamics, the technology, and the level of innovation. And let me maybe touch a couple of minutes on that. On this car you have both the front-wheel drive and now the all-wheel drive. We're going to have a range of 7 powertrains, all meeting Euro 5 emission levels, and we'll have 6-speed automatic and manual transmissions. And obviously our CO2 values will be more than competitive. Also, the innovation element is key. We have a mechatronic FlexRide chassis system which will be introduced on Insignia, but also a new adaptive 4x4 system. Now, it is absolutely crucial that we also market innovations that are for the great public, that are affordable for all of our consumers. Let me just continue with the range of new innovations on this car. New AFL with 9 total positions, 9 different functions on AFL, including the advanced front camera system, which in fact combined with some other technologies makes this car, as we call it, the first car that can see. And this camera system, we call it the Opel or the Vauxhall Eye. So quite some innovations. Also some smaller things that may not be the biggest technology innovations, but are really a proof that we want to make technology accessible to the wider audience. We have an item in this car, a technology item, which is called Hot Shot. And it basically means that you have a hot wash fluid that sprays on the front screen, and it really de-ices or cleans, in more southern countries, the windshield. A very small thing, unique in the marketplace, but it's extremely customer friendly and something that we are really proud of. Just as one example of the many technology innovations that we have on this car. In summary, I would dare to say what we want to do with this car is really energize. It is engineered to energize this segment that indeed is going down in the European marketplace, but we believe if you make the right sexy cars with good technology, that's what it needs to really make this market